Welcome to the second Regen Rovers recap, where I am going to review my second season in charge of Regen Rovers. I hope you enjoyed the second season. Of course, it was a little bit disappointing in the end because we were unable to qualify for the playoffs after a bad end to the season, but overall, it was very positive in my opinion. We finished 9th in the table in the end, 67 points, 19 wins, 10 draws, 13 losses, a plus 20 goal difference. Very good going forwards. We actually had the third best attack in the league, just behind Dorchester and Gosport. The defence wasn't as good, as you can see here, but it was still pretty good. It was still up there with, the top 10 anyway. So overall, I'm very, very pleased with the season that we had. A few people have been asking about when we're going to change the shirts. I did say at the start of the second season that we'll continue with these current shirts until we get promoted. So we're going to remain with these for the time being. But when we do get promoted, we will change the shirt designs. Now, if you want to design a shirt and have your shirt appearing here as part of the series, get designing and send them in to me, please. You can tweet them to me or you can email me at... I'll put my email address in the description below. I was thinking the sponsor could change for this third season. It depends really on if people have time to design something. But I was thinking of having Jack Young Plumbing as the sponsor. So our chairman basically sponsoring the shirts with his own company. I mean, that's the sort of thing that you'd kind of do at this level of football. In the Premier League, that'd be a bit stupid, but I kind of feel like that works quite well. So if anyone wants to design a logo for Jack Young Plumbing as well, that would be fantastic. I think we'll probably keep the same colours, but you might want to redesign the style of the home shirt, just black and gold, but maybe you'll want to have little arrows on it or little stripes, pinstripes, something like that. You might want to keep the sash. It's up to you really. Just get creative, but I'd say probably stick to these colours. We'll have a green third shirt, I think, throughout the series. It could change if you want. We could have an all gold third shirt. It's possible. Kind of up to you. I'm allowing freedom from you guys, the fans of Regen Rovers. So I did show a few statistics at the end of the second season in episode 16, but I'll just go through them again for you guys that just watch the recap so you can keep abreast of what's happening. Player-wise, great seasons from many players compared to last year. The average ratings were quite low because we were towards the bottom of the table, but this year, much better average ratings. McEachran made the most appearances with Walker and Okoro making the joint second highest number of appearances. Goals-wise, Ogachukwu Agu, 24 goals to equal Fawkes' record from last year. Fawkes got 14 goals, so he's now got 38 goals for the club. Sean Walker was third with 9, and then it was shared around. We've got Matty Ratty, Catley, McEachran, and Okoro, our goalkeeper, getting 4 goals because he's our penalty taker, of course. But yeah, it was shared around nicely. Not many players didn't score, really. Matty Ratty picked up the most assists. It's a position I might be wanting to improve. The wingers in general, they've not been amazing for us lately. I might play a formation next season without wingers, go 4-3-3 or something like that. But he had a very good first half of the season. Sean Walker with the second highest number of assists, 9 goals and 9 assists for him, by the way, perfect symmetry. Thomas Smith with 8, Ray Rigg with 5, which was pretty much at the start of the season, and Fawkes got 4, and it was shared around between the rest of the players. Man of the match wise, Agu and Walker got 4, Ratty and Bradley got 3, and the average rating, now I did say this in episode 16, but for the player spreadsheet, which you can you can have a look at via the link in the description below, I've put like the top 3 goal scorers, the top 3 assists, the top 3 average ratings. I've not included players under 10 appearances. I'm gonna cap it at that. So Bradley and Chef, they played very well in the few games that they played, but you have to remember Chef, most of his games were in the cup at the start of the season against weaker opposition, although he did play very well towards the end of the season as well when I brought him into the team. But Agu basically is the top average rating this season because he played over 10 games. Walker is next, and then it's Rob Halladay, our left back, who had a remarkable end to the season after being promoted from the under 23s. So I have put a link to a tweet in the description below where you can vote for your player of the season. The Regen Rovers Twitter Player of the Season award. But according to the game, Agu has picked up the Player of the Season award, 34%. It was pretty close. Sean Walker was second, 28%. David Okoro third with 24%. Arguably, Okoro is my Player of the Season. He pulled off some brilliant saves, and considering I was playing a very high line for the last third of the season, we were having a lot of chances on goal for the opposition, and he was saving so many clear-cut chances and half chances. So I would probably give it to him, but you can vote for your Player of the Season. I've put those three in there, and I've also put McEachran, our centre-back, who had a good season overall this year. He's the fourth option. Sean Walker, signing of the season, £1,000, the only signing that we've ever made for actual money, I think. And Agu was the young Player of the Season, as well as being the Player of the Season. We'll have a look at the Best Goal of the Season award from Fawkes in a second, but let's have a look at the best 11. Okoro, Smith, McEachran, Catley, Collier, who of course left, Walker and Asau in the middle. That's a surprise. Matty Ratty, Parsons and Fawkes and Agu. This is the formation we were playing at the start of the season. If we look at the best 11 and look overall, so you can see the players on the bench there, but the overall best 11 is quite surprising. Okoro in goal. I'm not surprised by that. He's moved ahead of Trollope. Made less appearances, just one less appearance. And he scored 4 goals. He's got a slightly better average rating than Trollope. Robin Grigg is still right back, even though he got a 6.52. Smith was much better at right back this season. I don't understand. It might just be because he's played lots of games. McEachran, that makes sense. Thomas Smith is at centre back, even though he played right back, so that doesn't really make sense, but I guess he's in there for his average rating. Richard Brown at left back, he's like been second choice, but of course he replaced Newell when he left. He replaced Collier when he left, and it's only been in recent weeks that, of course, we've played Halladay there. Mullen on the right instead of Matty Ratty. That's a bit of a surprise considering the contributions both of them have made. I'd say Matty Ratty's is greater. Walker and Perry Miles in the middle are the overall best 11. Perry Miles is in central midfield. That is a shock, but well done to him. And why is Russell Higgs on the left-hand side of midfield? He's been awful, 6.5 in his 27 appearances. And Agu and Fawkes up front. I think it kind of highlights the fact that we need to improve our midfield. Walker's brilliant, but we need to have better wingers. We need to have a better defensive midfielder, I think. Perry Miles isn't really a defensive midfielder. I think he's more of just a central midfielder who can create because he's got good passing and vision. And then we've got Trollope, Catley, Ratty, Parsons, Rigg, Sheff and Nathan Coles on the bench. It's a bit random, I must say. Agu has managed to get onto the favoured personnel list along with Morgan Fawkes. Brilliant achievement. Well done to both of them for being on that list at such an early point of the series. Facilities wise, I have asked to have a new affiliate. Jack Young has failed to give me an affiliate 3 times now. It might be because we're a new club and we just don't have any links. I was going to try and create good relationships with certain teams on the editor, but when I asked on the Discord prior to the series, people said I should just leave it blank. But I think that's made it problematic for us actually trying to find an affiliate club at the early stages of this series. It might be a while before we can find one, I'm afraid. Everything else, we've got poor training facilities. Jack Young doesn't have the money to improve at the moment. I quite like the fact that financially it's a little bit of a struggle at this level. It's more realistic. It will be a long old journey, this. We've got tons of money. We're not going to rise up the leagues. And Jack Young loves the club, so I feel like he's kind of unlikely to sell the club as well, along with all our other board members as well, and joint owners, of course. Some of you guys, the Patreons. Let's take a look at the Goal of the Season award then. It's another long-range free kick from Fawkes. It's not the best free kick. I forgot that he scored that, to be honest, against Gosport. And you'll remember last year, Tom Newell managed to win Goal of the Season from a very similar position with a free kick, which sneaked in at the near post. They're good goals, but they're not amazing goals. They're kind of a little bit fluky because perhaps the goalkeeper should have done better with them. Maybe it's coded into the game. Free kick from distance, from an angle, it's more likely to win Goal of the Season award. I don't know. A little bit disappointed. We haven't really scored many bangers from outside the box. There's been very few, really. Most of our goals have been from within the box from our strikers. Fawkes and Agu are basically poachers, aren't they? Match of the season was apparently our 3-1 win against Kings Lynn. Moment to forget was our 4-1 defeat against Beaconsfield. Yeah, not great. Average attendance in the league, 278 people. And we used the joint fourth highest number of players this season, looking at that. Now, I'll look at the average attendance figures in the records in a second, because that's just for the league. Our overall average attendance is slightly higher than that. Team dynamics, there's not much going on with the dynamics because we don't really have any team leaders anymore. Chef is kind of unhappy because he wants to leave. He's now moved, he was a team leader, he's moved all the way down to influential players now, and he's the only one. It is a problem for mentoring with training. I mentioned it in episode 16. It's a problem because everyone else is just in other players. Not great. Social groups though, we do have a core social group and a secondary social group, and then Courtney and Mooney, 2 new signings, still trying to find their way, still trying to make friends. Hopefully someone will just offer them, a bit of their sandwich in the canteen and be friendly with them over time. The board, Jack Young, is extremely pleased with me. He's delighted, in fact, with the leadership qualities I have shown. They're not happy with Matty Ratty at the moment. Well, you guys, the fans, are not happy with Matty Ratty, apparently. I do enjoy looking at the records. There's so much detail here. Of course, our highest transfer fee is Sean Walker. Top goal scorer in the league is Morgan Fawkes with 35 goals. He scored 38 in all competitions. Most league appearances by a player is actually Morgan Fawkes. I have to sign this guy permanently, don't I? I just have to try and get him. Most league goals by a player is Agu, though. I don't know if it's done on how many league games they play, so perhaps he played less league games than Fawkes did in the first season. It might just be the last person to score the highest number. I'm not really sure. Highest average rating is Fawkes, even though it might not have reset. Youngest player is Wally Young. Oldest player, of course, is Chef. He's now over 30 years old. Fastest goal, Ross Bradley, after 50 seconds. You can see all the stuff there. You can read it yourself if you're really interested. Highest league positions, lowest league positions, attendance then. So our highest attendance this year was in the FA Cup third qualifying round at home, of course, against Hemel Hempstead. Over 1,200 of you turned up. That is brilliant. Well done. Thank you for turning up. Same with highest gate receipts, as you can see there. Lowest attendances was, so it's actually gone up, the lowest attendance, which is good news. And the average attendance this season across all competitions is 346, much improved on last year. We only sold one more season ticket, but lots more people coming through the gates, which is good for the finances. Biggest win, 6-1, of course. Biggest defeat was 4-1. It's not quite as bad as last year's. Highest scoring match, the Gosport match. Most matches won in a row. Now, we've managed to increase that to 4 this year, which is good. Most matches lost in a row, we've reduced that to 4. Most matches without losing, 9. That's good. We're improving, aren't we? Season upon season. Most matches without winning, we managed to reduce that to 4, which is good. Most matches without conceding, 3 in a row. 3 clean sheets in a row. It's unheard of, considering last year. Coro's been brilliant, hasn't he? Just absolutely magnificent. Most goals, we could look at this all day, but there's so much here to look at. So it has updated Agu there, 7.02, so it must be based on at least 10 games, I would say. Maybe more, it might be like 15 or 20 according to the game. Thought we'd just take a quick look at the under-23s and under-18s. I don't know if these statistics here are the under-23s and under-18s combined, or just the under-23s. I've stuck all the players in here just so we can see, because first team players did appear for the under-23s and under-18s as well. But I'll just quickly go through. Michael Huxtall, most appearances, but his average rating's dreadful. So he's not going to be getting into the first team anytime soon, I'm afraid. Goals-wise, it was shared around. We didn't play a huge number of games. We're not in a league, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I need to arrange the friendlies myself so that they get lots of game time, the under-23s, because they're only playing one match every week or two. It'd be good if they were playing a couple games a week, because we've got so many players in the youth teams. It'd be good to actually look at them. This is the whole team, of course, but it would be good to get them playing lots of football, just improving basically. I don't know if it would be the same for the under-18s if we look at this. It might just be the same statistics. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, I think it's the same. So it must be the under-23s and 18s combined looking at this. So we can't really tell who scored for which team, but we can see how well they played. Some of the new players have played really well. These are the youth intake players. If you watched Regen Rovers Revelations 5, you'll recognise these names, but they've been performing really well. So that is positive heading into our third season. So I've continued until the 14th of June 2020. I wanted to show you sort of who's been promoted and relegated in all of the English leagues, because people are interested. I don't think there's much point showing other divisions around the world because it's not relevant to us at this point in time. I could always show them in a Revelations video at some point if people want to know what's going on in the world, but it probably makes sense to wait a few seasons before doing that. So Weymouth were the only team to get promoted from our division, with Poole, Frome and Kings Langley going down. Hereford, Dorchester, Kings Lynn and Farnborough failed to go up via the playoffs. Interestingly, the playoffs were actually won, the two teams getting promoted from those 16 teams in our tier that get into the playoffs. Both teams were from the same division, from the Central Division, the division above us. We'll have a look at that in a bit, but I want to have a look at the player stats, player overview, because Agu, joint 5th top goal scorer of 24 goals this season. Magnificent season from him, of course. Per minute, 127.54 minutes per goal. Not bad at all. McEachran was on the pitch for all 81 of our goals this season. He was on the pitch for. Agu was on for 80 of them, which is surprising because at the start of the season he wasn't first choice. So it shows how important he was. That is really good. And Okoro, look at that. Second highest number of penalties scored. He scored 4 out of 4. The only player in this list to have a 100% scoring record. That is very impressive. Don't know why it's showing team goals twice here. We don't need that, do we? What about pass completion? None of our players there. Ross Bradley, most red cards. Key headers, McEachran. Key tackles, Catley. Dribbles per game, Matty Ratty's up there. Tom Reaney with the tackles per game as well. Well, look at this. I'll just go down. Matty Ratty, he loves to run. 8th on the highest distance covered per 90 minutes. Average rating, we're probably not on. Yeah, we're not on here. Oh, Agu's on there with a 7.08 in the league. Headers one, McEachran. I mean, McEachran has been really good for us at the back. Without him, we'd have conceded even more goals, I think. Goals per minute, Agu's 7th. Shots on target, Agu's on there. And joint 17th. His conversion rate is incredible. 3rd best conversion rate in the league. Morgan Fawkes is the 5th best conversion rate. He was up there last time as well. And there we have Okoro. 4 out of 4 penalties scored. So let's have a look at some of the leagues then. So Premier League was won by Liverpool this time around, finishing ahead of Manchester City. Leicester, Birmingham and Preston relegated. So they went up last year. The Championship, Huddersfield, Fulham and West Brom promoted, with Bolton, Wigan and Bristol Rovers going down. League One was won by Sunderland, with Reading going up and Luton Town via the playoffs. Mansfield, Northampton, Cambridge United and Accrington relegated out of the Football League. League Two that was League One, not out of the Football League. This is the Carlo and Macclesfield have been relegated out of the Football League. Bury, Exeter City, Southend and Crawley promoted. The National League, Chesterfield and Salford. Salford have managed to get into the Football League, with Braintree, Southport, Solihull and Leamington Spa being relegated to the regional leagues, the National League regional level. So the National League North was won by York City, with Harrogate going up via the playoffs. Crawley, Altrincham and Ashton United relegated, and this is where we might have some of the teams coming into our division. So Maidenhead and Kingstonian promoted. Wealdstone, they might be in our division. Havington, Waterlooville and Salisbury should definitely be in our divisions if it goes correctly. It might be messed up again, so we might have teams moving between divisions to fix the regionality. I don't know what's going to happen. It could be anyone. We might end up with a northern team in our league, just like we ended up with Kings Lynn and Hereford in our league. Let's go down then to the Isthmian Premier Division, won by Worthing. So none of the teams in the playoffs got promoted from this level. Brightlingsea, Folkestone and Haringey relegated. The Northern Premier Division, FC United promoted back to the National League North, with Ramsbottom, Workington and Curzon Ashton going down. This is the division where we saw 3 teams promoted. Malden and Tiptree going up. That's amazing. Hednesford going up via the playoffs, with St Neots Town as well. So both of them managed to get through to their respective playoff finals, because all 16 teams from these 4 tiers go into the playoffs and 2 teams are promoted. So it just so happens that these teams, both of them managed to win the finals. And then this is our division, of course. So should we go down? I mean, it's a big old thing to look through if we keep going down. But some of these teams might appear in our division next season. We might have Guernsey. We might be playing Guernsey. It makes sense for them to go into our division, but there's a lot of teams that it makes sense to go into our division. There might not be enough spaces, but it makes sense to move Kings Lynn out of our division. That's for sure. But whether it is, I don't know. Right, we'll keep going anyway, and I'm intrigued to see Grantham, Carlton. 4 teams promoted from this division. That's weird, but maybe it's the playoff thing all over again. Barwell promoted. Welwyn Garden City getting relegated. I want to see how Winchester City have done. Cirencester going up because they were relegated to the 9th tier. Is this still the 8th tier? I don't know. Let's have a look at Winchester City. So in the Wessex League, they were relegated last season, of course. They have been promoted along with maybe with Fleet. I don't know if the runners-up go up, but Winchester have been promoted back to the 8th tier. Our rivals, of course, our city rivals, and we might face them if they get promoted again, and we failed to get promoted. The FA Cup was won by Birmingham City. That's amazing. They were relegated from the Premier League, but they beat Liverpool on penalties. The League Cup was won by Man City. What a game this is, 4-3 against Watford. Charity Shield won by Man City. The league, the Johnson's Paint Trophy, as it used to be called, was won by Doncaster Rovers, beating Swansea, I guess the under-23s. The FA Trophy was won by Wrexham against Bromley. Now this is our competitions. The Southern League Cup, Dorchester beat Wimborne. This is a competition we can win. We need to give it a shot. And the Hampshire Senior Cup is definitely winnable. Totten, in our division of course, managed to beat Winchester, our rivals. They got through to the final, 4-2. Great final. Just before I go, I just wanted to show you the coaching team, because a few people have been asking. So I'm going to keep with Ollie Oxborough as my assistant. He's not the best, but he's improving. He's got his Continental C licence. In fact, I need to try and get another coaching course sorted. Let's see if Jack Young lets me. No. Financial situation. Get the checkbook out, Jack Young. You've got your own plumbing empire. But this is me. What's my record like? So I've won 34% of my games. I've lost more than I've won, but that's because of the problems last season. But it's only a -5 goal difference now. Not bad. 95 games played. I'm gradually improving, I suppose. Very, very gradually. Ollie Oxborough, this is him. Good at working with youngsters. Decent man management, which is useful for an assistant manager, of course. Martin Widrington is our coach, who I'm going to keep. I'm not allowed many coaches because we're at the 7th tier. We don't have much money. I can't have a multitude of coaches. And remember, they all have to be regens, which is why they're all a bit crap, I'm afraid. But I will be replacing some of these guys over the summer. I don't know about the scouts. There's not really any better scouts that I can find. And the goalkeeping coaches, I think I found ones slightly better. I can introduce them. We might introduce them on Twitter, in fact. And of course, then we've got our owners, including some of you guys, the managing director, Spencer Drury, chief doctor, Dr. Jones, and a club director, Lisa Zealous. But the main man is Jack Young, of course, but we need to get him to give us some money. We'll end it there then. Thank you for watching my second Regen Rovers recap. The 3rd season will be starting in the next couple of days. I just need to play through pre-season, find some new players to strengthen the team, get rid of some players that we don't need. I mean, we've got a massive youth squad, so we probably need to get rid of some of those players. And we'll go again in Season 3, and hopefully we'll be stronger than ever and have a good chance of getting promoted to the National League South. Until next time, enjoy Football Manager 2019. Enjoy the rest of your day. Come on, you younglings.